I'm live. Hey, what's up, YouTube? Welcome to Play It Painted Live. Do you guys remember these? Do you remember when I used to do streams? Ooh, I used to do streams. It's true. Yeah, I I was gonna do a little bit of painting and just like turn on the camera. And I do have a different camera setup, and things are old, and I'm trying to figure out how to do stuff again. But this is basically it, team. This is what we got. Um, Yeah, so anyways, let's just jump into it, and if nobody joins, that's fine. We'll just paint. So what I want to paint tonight is I've got a couple of models that we're gonna paint, and I used to just show you guys what these look like as I started, and I would do the detail on them. But we're just gonna start from absolute scratch tonight, and we'll see how far we go. And if it's great, it's great, and if it's not, it's not. And we'll just treat it that way. Okay. I'm gonna move my palette up to here for a minute. Yeah. So this is Flint. This is the Lumberjacks version of Flint. So we got that guy, and also we have Mallet. So that's Mallet. Okay, we have Flint and we have Mallet, and start. We're just gonna seriously just jump in and start painting. It's been quite a while since I painted on camera, and I'm not painting much these days. If I'm being honest with you, I don't. I I'm definitely not the prolific painter I once was. You know, when we used to do nightly streams, and I'd always be cooking something up. Um, let's just say uh, age has caught up with me quite a bit. So, so I try to go to bed early. I've been sick also for a couple of days, but I wanted to do something productive tonight. So, um, this is what we got. Okay, so we're gonna get started, and we're gonna start with our our skin tone, and this is gonna be very interesting. So let's find the skin tone base that I have been using. So my even everything like even the paints I've been rocking lately are a little bit different than what you may have remembered from me, right? So for example, we're gonna start with this Char's Pink. Char's Pink? It's just Char's Pink. Um, and this is actually a really neat looking base coat, and it's from AK Duo, which is a paint line that is not nearly as popular as I think it should be. This stuff is really, really nice. It's a great paint line. Um, you can airbrush with it. It's got a nice satin finish. I mean, I used to do like speed paints for this kind of stuff. Um, and I will still do that from time to time, especially with a white primed model like this. But I don't want to do that tonight. Tonight we're just gonna go slow. We're definitely not gonna finish these models. Best case scenario, we get most of the main colors blocked, but I really don't care how far we get. I just want to come hang out, do a little bit of painting. Okay, so let's start here with Mr. Mallet, and this is going to be a nice just base coat for Mallet here. Mallet, who is still for me my favorite of the Masons players. I like the lore around him. I like his fluff. He has my favorite rule in the whole game, which is Football Legend. I just love that rule. And, you know, a lot of people do not like to run Mallet in their Masons teams because they find that um, he doesn't really perform a specific role that they're looking for. But for me, I think Mallet is a fantastic character. Okay, he's slow, that's for sure, but he has a lot of things going for him. Um, he has the he has Football Legend, like I said, which is my favorite rule, right? And let me make sure I'm not lying to you. Am I? I don't think I'm lying to you. Let's pull it up. Let's go to library. Uh-oh. Let's go to library. Let's go to Masons. All right. Mallet. Yeah. Football Legend, 4-inch aura. While within this aura, friendly models gain +1/+1 kick. That's so good. It's so good. He turns his buddy here, Flint, who's already a 4-8. He turns Flint into a 5-9 goal threat. I know a lot of people don't use it because you usually don't need to be, 9 inches out. I get that, but I've taken some snapshots out at 5'9". It's amazing. Like you can take let's say you take a goal with Flint, and then you run the length with him, and you like show your opponent that he's outside of 8, and your opponent may not be paying attention, and then you get Mallet into range, and suddenly that snapshot turret is turned on. Um, Most other Masons are like 6-inch kick, and going from 6-inch to 7-inch kick is a pretty big deal. Oh, hey, what's up, Nelson? Yeah, stream. Yeah, welcome. Um, yeah, I just figured I'd kick the camera on tonight since I was gonna start working on these models. Uh, but yeah, good to see you. Yeah, why not? I'm gonna do a little painting. Why not turn on the camera? We'll ramble a little bit, talk about some gaming, some other stuff. Oh, since you're here, I do want to show you something because I have a second while all of this dries. Let me see if I can do this. Let me just finish getting all that. Yeah, all this has got to dry. I don't think. Oh, he does have. Okay, so actually, it's a good thing I caught that. He does actually have his hand here is exposed underneath this. Okay, so I want to get this base coat down, and then I want to show you something cool. Okay, so let's give that a second, and I'm assuming this is true of both of his hands. It's a little odd with I have that like halo light set up here, which is not what I used to run before my old camera setup. But this camera setup is so old. Okay, that's good enough for now. Oh yeah, don't worry about it. If yeah, don't worry about the commission stuff. I don't even, like I said, I don't paint nightly anymore. I'm not that prolific, and I paint very slow now. I just paint for fun. Let me see if I can get my friend out for you though while you're here. Okay, so here, let's see if my friend wants to come visit. Let's see. We'll come visit. Let's see. We'll come visit. He's thinking about it. Sorry, I'm all the way across the other side of the room here. Let's see. I think she wants to come. Come on. she does. Definitely does, don't she? Yeah, there she goes. There she goes. Okay, 1 second, sir. Let's get her out. Okay. All right. We'll show you what's going on here. Yeah. So a couple of months ago, I bought my son a leopard gecko, a very small leopard gecko, but now she's a very big leopard gecko. So this is Peanut Butter. Peanut Butter is a couple of months old, and she's at that very curious stage. It took me quite a while to get her to this point where she trusts me, but she's, as you can see, she's got really neat patterning. She's very sweet, and she basically just likes to come out when she likes to come out at night and visit. I make sure I get time with her every night so that she, part of one of the other reasons why I don't paint every night because I got a lot of animals and stuff to take care of. Um, but yeah, we'll say I'll put her back, but we'll say bye. Say bye, Peanut. This is Darius's gecko, and I've been training. I think Peanut Butter's a she, but she's too young to sex right now. She's too young. She hasn't. We don't know either way. She does have some bulges, so she could be a boy, but we don't know. Anyway, I know, sweetie. We're gonna put you away. I know. I'll come play with you later. Okay. There you go. There you go. Okay. That's probably a little bit mean because she was so excited to come out, and then I had to put her back in. But I do spend time with her every evening. It took a while to get her to where she was, um, to where she would be comfortable coming out and hanging out. She was very skittish. She was very shy as a baby gecko. Um, and she would hiss at me, and she didn't want anything to do with me. I spent a couple of months really just hand feeding her. So I would hand feed her every night. And she just wouldn't let me touch her, wouldn't let me touch her for like 2 months. And then, um, and then, yeah, and then finally one night I was done feeding her, and she would get like slowly more curious and kind of smell me and check me out. And then one night she just decided, oh hey, we're gonna be friends. And she came out and crawled on my hand and crawled up my arm and visited with me. Um, and then ever since then, uh, towards the evening, towards this time of the evening, she likes to come out and visit with me. So it's to the point where she expects to come out like every day, which is okay, but it's a little rough. Um, you had girls who lived together, never fought, laid eggs. Oh, they were attacked by ants. That's really sad. Oh, that's really sad. Oh, hey, what's up, Michael? Yeah. Um, yeah. Sorry, Michael, you missed my little my lizard demo there. But yeah, leopard geckos. We have two crested geckos, and my sons like the crested geckos, and the crested geckos are actually super super tame, and they're very easy for them to handle. Um, but I don't know, for whatever. Oh, I need a smaller brush. For whatever reason, my boys just they're not the same kind of handleability that a leopard gecko was. And I owned leopard geckos in the past too, and I know that they're like maybe the best beginner lizard for kids that want to handle their pet lizards. Right, the leopard geckos and crested geckos are the best. Yeah, sorry to hear about your leopard geckos. But yeah, that's a little peanut butter. Okay, eyes on camera. Oof, I haven't done this in a long time. So we'll see how it goes. I am not the same guy I used to be at doing eyes, for sure. But we'll do our best, right? And these are my minis, so it's not, they're not, I'm not painting these for somebody else, so they don't have to be absolutely perfect. But yeah. Michael, how's it going? We should have more about Eevee. It's, oh my gosh. We have so many critters in this house. Um, I don't know if you know that, like full count, what we have here. So we have, starting with the mammals, we have 3 cats, um, and then we have 3 cats. We have uh, a pair of dwarf African frogs. Ooh, that's a big eye. Don't worry, we can fix it. We have a pair of dwarf African frogs. We have a like a little tiny baby little catfish-like thing that we thought was an algae eater, and we bought it from the pet store as an algae eater, but it turned out that it's more of like a little catfish. Um, and we had bought 2 other algae eaters at the time, and those 2 other algae eaters like disappeared, so we're pretty sure the catfish ate them, and we named the catfish Bonus Guy because he's just like a bonus dude. We also have a Spanish ribbed newt named Jerry. Who's quite a bit like an axolotl. Spanish ribbed newts are mostly aquatic newts. So we have that, and then we also have, like I said, the 2 crested geckos, and we have Peanut Butter, who is the leopard gecko. Okay, let's see. Kid in daycare, nice. I remember you asked about adopting your crested, but oh yeah, don't worry about it. The crested, we're down to 2 crested geckos. At the time I asked you about adopting them, I think we were still in the double digits for crested geckos. So we had a lot at that time. Okay. So, ooh, can't. It's great, but it's also still draining. Yeah, I hear you. Okay. Yeah. I forgot how hard it was to paint eyes on camera. It's super hard. Super hard to paint eyes on camera. But yeah, we have a little zoo here at my place. It's the one of the main reasons why I can never get a resin printer. Just way too many children and animals and too small of a space. But if I had one, that would probably be a bad thing. Because I would probably print every single Guild Ball team, multiple copies, and just start painting them. And then, I don't know, I'd probably paint them and sell to people or gift out as prizes or whatever. That's like way too much power for somebody like me to have. So I definitely I don't want to do that. But yeah. Um, the May Guild Ball tournament is on. It's a little disappointing at the moment because I only have 3 people signed up for it, and I thought we were gonna get a decent showing based on the hype, but that's okay. What will happen is, if we have fewer than 8 people, not including myself. If we have fewer than 8 people, I cannot offer a cup. It would not be right. We're not going to offer. So that is the downside, right? If we don't have enough people, the trip to the May thing, we're not going to have. Downstairs is pretty big, but probably filled with animals now. Well, yeah, 3 of them are down here. And then the cats are just everywhere, right? The cats they just treat it like their place, so it is what it is. But yeah, so yeah, that's what's going on with the Kingdom Cup. Also, I thought I had an engraver, and that's not looking so promising at the moment. So we'll see. We'll see how things shake up. But if we get enough people registered, then I can go ahead and offer a cup. If not, it's fine. We'll just have a Guild Ball tournament, and then we'll maybe offer. We'll try to offer one for the following year. Okay. Oh man, I need to tilt this down, don't I? You guys are like missing out. Like way too. There we go. There we go. This is like the natural spot for me. Okay, so now. I've always been a big Mallet fan. Always been a big Mallet fan. Okay. Got eyes coming in on Mallet. Never really liked his sculpt though. So I'm glad he has this sculpt. Because the original Mallet sculpt is just not. He needed a new sculpt, and despite Flint having a show model, which is a great model, he definitely needed a sculpt as well. So yeah, no sweat, Michael. But yeah, these are great sculpts. I don't I don't know how I feel about Lumberjacks. They're definitely not my typical liking for a guild. Um, but they are really great looking. Oh, you've already started. Thank you, sir. But yeah, as we're getting closer, we may want to think about curbing the prizes a bit. If it right, if we don't get enough people signed up, then it may not make a whole lot of sense to give out like insane price support if it's only going to be like 6 people showing up. Okay. So yeah, this has been going on. Been playing a lot of Guild Ball. Even post the San Diego tournament. Helping Sean get more used to his blacksmiths and letting him like try out other teams. I think he's going to try out Cook soon. And then also our other friend Chris, um, he's learning how to play, and he's currently playing Lumberjacks. He's playing Lumberjacks and Alchemists. And so I helped him like see how strong the Alchemist can be. I let him run. I let him run that Midas VCAT list that is very popular now. Yep. Now I remember why I did not paint eyes on camera. You've asked some Oklahoma to show up. That's cool. Man, I was really tempted to try for Missouri team tournament. As you know, that has been a long-standing dream of mine to play in a team tournament, and I still want to play in a team tournament. but I did promise my wife and kids that we would go on a proper vacation this summer. So it's probably gonna be a no for me for Missouri this summer. Okay, it's not bad. Let's use some of this base color to fix the eyes. Right, I'm just gonna fix the shape of the eyes. Do you feel like the Lumberjacks still have the same styles? Yes, I do. They're they don't have to me they don't have quite the same character as the metal sculpts do, but I think that's for me that's like a general. I consider that to be a more general observation about how sculpts. Um, when you have the original metal sculpts, how much character the original metal sculpts tend to be, or how much they tend to have. Um, I see the lamplighter sculpts and the art as being a pretty wild deviation. Um, and it's tough for me to admit that because I love alchemists, but I just don't feel like they just stand out to me. They stand out like a sore thumb compared to, and it's not that they're bad. They're not bad artwork. It's very different from all the other Guild Ball sculpts out there. That's the right. That's what I take issue with, and it's not the artist's fault. The artists for the lamplighters, they're volunteer and they really did a great job. If the rest of the line looked like that, I'd probably be completely happy with them, but it just didn't line up. And so yeah, full disclosure, I do have like I just kind of have a bias against playing lamplighters as myself. I might have liked that guild a little bit more if if I felt like they matched the rest of the line better. Then I might have been serious about playing them for most of 4.7. But as it stands, I can't. I just don't see myself doing that. So okay. Gosh, I am working on like heavy detail here on camera, and it's kind of rough, but that's okay. Okay, so we got this pink base down, um, and from here, this is going to be more about um, volumizing that skin up. Okay, skin looks pretty good. There's a couple different ways I can do this. I can either like stay into AK beige red. This is a little flat though. It's a little flat and a little chalky. And so I don't want to do that. What I actually want to do, if I can find it, maybe I won't be able to do this. Oh, this has been one of my favorite little tricks. Reaper Fair Shadow. So you notice like this is a very yellow color. Yellow over a pink skin tone is actually quite nice. And Reaper has really good like flow improver and stuff. So I'm going to mix some of this in with that AK Duo. And you can, you could have done speed paints, but speed paint flesh tones are very dicey. Some people hate them. And I understand why. Like they just don't. They can leave you in a really bad spot if you don't do it right. I'm going to add a little bit of glaze medium to this. All right, so I'm going to mix in that lighter skin tone. So we're going to go away from this like more salmon color. and we're gonna blend it into. It is gonna look more like AK beige red when I'm done, but it's a good color. It's gonna be somewhat pink because that Char's pink is pretty strong. Okay, so I mix with a different brush. Let's go back to Flint. Still doesn't. Oh, okay. Well, we can use this as the mid-tone. It's fine. That's right. So I'm just gonna put a little bit on my brush, and you guys may not even be able to pick this up on camera. Oh yeah, you can actually. The Lumberjacks, I just think their sculpts are really good. To your question, you could argue that their aesthetic is different than the rest of the line because to me it's a pretty significant jump. So you could argue like, okay, well these guys don't really match the line either, but I think they're just fine. I don't know why the Lumberjacks have cloaks though. I will say that. That to me, that was an odd choice. The cloaks were an odd choice. But they do look cool. I think oak is such a great sculpt. Um, I think oak is my favorite sculpt of the box set. And then when you include these two guys, um, I don't know. I really like this dude. Flint he is a good-looking man, right? He is a charmed male. Just trying to shape the eye a little bit here. It's just a little prominent. Less leather and plate armor pieces. Yeah. What am I missing here? I know that dot in the eye looks a little bigger than the other eye. Um, when I'm looking at it in real life, they don't look that different. It doesn't look that bad to me. Here you have lots more thick cloth. It's true. How are we looking here? Okay. So let's get mallet going here. And I just couldn't be bothered to do the flannel pattern. I actually kind of like the Lumberjacks just a little more solid. A little more, I guess, plain, because you have so much going on these miniatures to begin with. You have all these belts, you have lots of tools, you have fur, you have cloaks, you have beards. There's just a lot going on. You got leather. The other problem, and this has always been a problem with me too, if I'm not batch painting all the models together, they're not going to match, right? I put Tinder out here as a guide, and I painted him different, right? Tinder has the classic um, contrast skin, and you can see it's pretty cool. It's like cartoony, but you also have like a big kind of stain of it right there, which looks a little weird and goofy. There's a little mess up right there. The model itself is a little, see, this is contrast for the leather. That could have been a little bit better. He also has like blue He has light blue underneath. So the cloth is actually supposed to be white down there. So it's white, and then it's like these like stone color pants, and then blue, the like a dark blue for the rest of it, right? So if I want them to match, I actually do have to use at least some contrast paint at first. So for Flint here, he's got, it's basically just, he's got like a white shirt. This is a white shirt, and then he kind of has like an overshirt rocking. That's what that looks like. He's got like a blue overshirt, and then he's got like white there, and then white there. It's going to be like this color here, which is, that white is actually Battleship Gray. Oh, it's time for, okay. Good night, Simon. Get him some dinner and get him to bed. Those are great days. Honestly, being a parent, when you have small kids, and I still have small kids. You know, Octavius he's a teenager, but he still likes me. So he still counts as a small kid to me, because even though I would never say it, like, I don't mean that in a bad way at all. Only in the sense that he still likes me. Um, but yeah, you gotta, like, those days when your kid's like that, those are some of the best days. When you can walk around the park with them strapped onto your body, those are the best days, for sure. All right, so that's pretty simple. I can come back in and highlight those white. This guy here has got this white shirt here. So let's do that. Mr. Mallet. In fact, Mallet looks like he's got more of a white shirt showing. So let's do that. Okay. Okay. All right, pretty straightforward so far. What's nice is with all the folds, you don't have to worry about the pooling as much. I can move to a bigger brush now. So let me do that. So I'm going to move to, and they have the armor plates, which none of the Lumberjacks have. They don't really have armor plates. So I have to figure out what to do there. But for now, I need to get these stone brown pants. They're almost like an olive color going there. And I have to remember what color I used. I think I used a duo paint. Let's see. I think I used duo paint stone brown, or I used Japanese. I may have used Japanese khaki, but I think it's this color, Pluto Stone. So let's give them some Pluto Stone, and if it doesn't match, then hey, these are playdowns. What are you gonna do? All right. I did not think I was going to paint the playdowns. These were given to me. So, and then it's kind of cool too, because I was planning on trying to play some of the playdowns into Lumberjacks. All right. So it's really just the pants. It looks like that's gonna match. That looks like that's gonna match. If not, I think no, I don't think there is an if not. I think it matches pretty well. I think that's what we're looking at. Good. Okay. So I give them like these type pants. And then we'll go back to contrast for all the leather bits. But yeah, we're at that part now where we can start. Oops, I'll fix that. We can start blocking in all the color. Okay. Their skin is still a little bit on the ruddy side, so I'm going to come in. I'm going to add a little bit more of the fair shadow. You've been painting for so long. Have you settled with the paints like AK paints for metal minis? Yeah, I would say so. I just like I just like specific colors from specific lines, and I just keep them. You know, like Reaper paints are getting harder to come by in this area, but this is like Fair Shadow is one of my favorite colors, so I keep that. There's they also had this pink color. It was like intestinal pink or something like that, and that was a great color as well that I really liked. Okay, so now I've got but yeah, there's a lot of, you know, for the base, the the basis of my um, painting collection is almost all AK. So I lean pretty heavy into the AK line. Um, Vallejo I keep for a lot of specialty paints. Their metallics are amazing. Their color shifters I prefer over Turbo Dork. Their Express Color, I have some of their Express Color that I really like. Um, you know, it's a shame. You know, you hear a lot of bad things about what AK does on a personal basis, and that's kind of a shame. But um, you know, hey, they do have some paints that I really favor. Um, Reaper has a bunch of stuff that they have specific paints that I really like and keep. P3 inks are still my favorite inks of all time. So I rock a lot of P3 inks. Still use some occasionally, some of the Citadel washes. I really like those. Yeah, he's looking pretty good there. Remember, like, we got a standard to keep up with Flint. He's got to be a good looking man. Like, it just wouldn't be right if Flint is not a good looking man. But yeah, it's a great question. You know, over the years, you just kind of find the stuff that you really like, and it can be in whatever product line, and it just becomes a part of your quote unquote your system, right? You Now it looks kind of young. I should maybe I need to dull his flesh a little bit. uh, has there a paint that you really could not work with? Well, no, but I would say there are some paints that like do have a little bit of a an understanding that you need to use. For example, um, Turbo Dork paints, right? Turbo Dork has, it's like they have some of the best looking colors you could ever imagine, right? And everyone thinks they're super great, but like this, look at this. It's like really settled. Turbo Dork paints settle a lot, and they're really a pain to airbrush. And you need to figure out the thinning for them. And because they're metallics, thinning is always tricky. In general, thinning metallics is very difficult. So that's a learning curve, right? Turbo Dork is a learning curve. Scale 75 paints are amazing paints, but the thinning ratios are much higher on scale 75. You need to be aware of that going in if you're going to work with those paints. Pro Acryl are excellent paints. People, if you told me you only trust Pro Acryl paints, I'd believe you. Yeah, okay. There's no, uh, they're not my style, but I would be like, yeah, I would, yeah. Pro Acryl makes incredible paints. They're not quite, um, they're just not quite how I'm used to handling the liquid, but they're great. You could hand me a bunch of Pro Acryl paints and I can do these guys with that, and I really wouldn't bat an eye. They just not in my particular system right now. Yeah, like I was saying, Reaper, they actually have a lot of flow improver already in them, kind of like how P3 used a lot of flow improver on their early lines. So it's just stuff to be aware of, I suppose. Okay, let's. You love the P3, yeah. P3 flesh wash and armor. I still keep it. I stockpile that stuff. There's the blazing orange ink is also super good. Purple piggy ink is amazing. There's really good stuff. Okay, so now we need to do leather, and I gotta use my little cheat sheet here. It looks like I was using like an orange brown. Um, yeah, I think I was using this. Okay, rule one with these: stick a ball in them. It's really upsetting that these do not come with a ball. So when you get them, bring them home, pop the funnel off, and stick a ball in them. You can hear I have a ball. I stuck a ball in all mine. Shake them up really well. All right, and then let's go ahead and go with these. All right, so, but these are great. These AK Quick Gen they're really good. What's so good about them as opposed to like Army Painter and Citadel Contrast? They're thicker, right? So you can see that what you do is you put it down like that, and then you can push it. You can push it around quite a bit, right? An Army Painter paint, and especially a Citadel paint, probably would have already dried up on me because I didn't put a whole lot on the brush to begin with. But yeah, and I also made a tiny little mistake right there, so I'm going to clean this up. Right, I just went a little overboard right there. So you can, right, still open. You can see, you can just clear that out if you don't like it. If you don't like anything with how that went down, you can clean it up. Super nice. Okay, I hope that's the right color. I'm just going to keep going with the leather here. So I'm just going to go like this. And we'll get buckles and all that stuff in a minute. What color did I do the shoes? We'll have to see. I do not remember. You know, these days, I don't. I try to cycle away from contrast paints where I can. I just get. Oh wait, did I do that? Yeah. I just start getting a little tired of the same look. So I do like try to steer away from these paints when I can. But I can use this like as an undercoat for that part of the log. Right? It's going to end up a different color than this, but it's a good undercoat. Oh, other paint lines that the original Army Painter paint line, I was not a fan of. I just felt they were goofy. They were goofy. They were sticky and they didn't flow out terribly well. You had to thin them quite a bit more. Their Gen 2 stuff is way better, to the point where their yellows are like off the charts good, and I need to pick up some of their yellows to run. But their early stuff had shut me off to them pretty quickly. With the amount of folds and stuff, it could be easy to lose like what's what on this model, right? Because, for example, these folds here are not part of the boot, they're part of the pants, right? And you can't really see that until you start filling in the whole thing. Is there anything else on this guy that is leather right now? I don't think so. I don't think so. No, not yet. Okay. All right. I remember last time we ran into each other at LVO, you were playing Batman and Last Kingdom? Last Kingdom. I was playing Batman at LVO. What else did I play at LVO? I played Kill Team last time. I played Spearhead at LVO, Malifaux. Have you ever gone to a convention to just enter models into painting competitions? No. No. I'm not. I'm definitely not what you would consider to be like a high quality painter. I don't do that. I do get these models ready for the tabletop style painting, right? It's real simple stuff, right? Base coat, wash, highlight. I don't spend hours and hours on a single piece. And even if I did, I've tried to do that a couple times, frankly. Like, oh, let's just try to do let's take our time and really try to do this one up. And it doesn't look any better than the stuff that I just paint on my regular sort of timing. No, I like to go to conventions. I mainly go to conventions um, to play games and hang out with the people that I am looking forward to meeting, or that I know from that convention. So yeah. No, I just, I guess I would not say I'm that quality of painter. I'm getting confused here with the amount of straps on Mr. Flint. It's confusing me. That's his backpack, so that also has a leather strap. Remember, the joke in Guild Ball is that the Belt Makers Guild, the leather workers, are secretly the most powerful guild in all of the free cities because everybody has to wear thousands of belts, boots, and straps on everything. Like, Flint has a full-on backpack. Look at this. He's got, like, lunch for him and Tinder. I don't understand. What is going on? He's got a full-on backpack. Belts on belts on belts. Yeah. They really want you to be sure that, and I get it, they're running around on a field all day. You need to have your stuff strapped on real tight. You don't want any of this stuff coming loose. Right? Especially if it's a hatchet hanging blade side down on your backpack. You probably don't want that coming loose. I hear you, Flint. Okay. Flint is rather cool though. Let's be real. Flint is rather cool. Now he's got pants here and then he's got a belt in between his pants and where his boots start. Like what? Maybe those belts are like uh, orthopedic, right? Maybe they're helping him prevent like a knee or an ankle injury. Who knows? I also don't understand why Tinder has fur on his model. And Itza is secretly just a Hunters player. I mean, not so secretly. He's like the guy asking them not to chop the trees down, essentially. Yeah, Flint has a lot of... So we're going to block the color in. And then I'm going to have to come back in and hit all of these spots here, or most of them, so that they feel a little more fleshed out, a little more... What's the word I'm looking for? Right? Like they need a little bit more depth to them than just the express color. So we will get that, especially with once I start putting the blue on. You'll see the dark blue speed paints tend to be pretty bad, right? Because either they're too saturated or they're too saturated or they're too opaque. I'm sorry, they're too saturated or they're too weak, and you end up with a lot of show through that you didn't want. Okay, so but yeah, this version of Flint is much cooler than the standard Mason's Flint, in my opinion. Maybe you just run Masons and just throw him on here with this model. Right? It's like Navigator's Angel, I think, is like significantly superior to regular Fish Angel. Okay. Okay, not bad. Alright. Let's... Alright, no problem. Good night, Simon. Yeah, okay, let's get some of this blue on. Okay, so I need to get like a midnight blue going. I'm trying to remember what I used. I don't think I used any of this. This is way too light. I did not use that. Oh, I probably used this. Okay, this is going to be pretty bad. Russian blue. This is probably going to be really splotchy. Okay, so this is not going to go down great looking. Let's just be aware of that. But you can see they're slowly but surely coming together here. Okay, Russian blue. And the thing about this, if you're going to do these AK colors, and come back, I usually come back and hit them with AK solids after. And here's another trick. If you're not sure how something's going to look, you see that back of the loincloth there? I usually test there. Because if I don't like how this is going to look, and you can see it's really light. It might not even be worth doing this step, if you want my honest opinion. Like, that doesn't look... I might be better off starting with a much darker blue and then highlighting up to that blue. So I might even start off with this turbo blue, which is going to look almost black on camera, and then I'll just use I'll just stay in the duo and go to 16A if I have 16A. What's 16A? Oh, I might go to this Amaranth blue. That's kind of a nice, right? I think that's actually, yeah, I think it's this. I think this is the combo. You go 16B to 15B. I think that's what we're going to do. I'm going to, okay, in fact, I'm going to leave this one out so that tomorrow, or even if we stay on tonight, I will move up to that blue. Oh yeah, this is a dark blue-gray, and this is going to look very dark on camera. But it's going to be, it should look good because it's going to be much more opaque, right? So, right? You can already see, like, that's how dark. That's how dark this is going to be. And he has this, like, little vest on underneath, too. So it's all under here. And then there's that little wrinkle there, even. That needs to be the Battleship Gray. So once the Battleship Gray dries, I just highlight it with an off-white. And then that will be the white color. Okay. But yeah, this is kind of nice. This is going to go down super dark, nice satin finish on it. And then when you highlight it with a brighter blue, it's not going to look splotchy. Like, I know I started with that AK speed paint here, and you can see it's like blotchy. It's got a good finish on it because I finished with the AK Duo, but the actual cloak itself looks pretty blotchy because it was a speed paint job, right? And I'm not rushing through these. These are just going to be done when they're done. I am going to play them in hopefully a recorded match at some point, because I think we do want to see what are the Lumberjacks capable of with a more ball-friendly roster. All right, so I'll put both playdowns in, and then we'll see how they do. I think people are going to think I'm really weird for dropping crosscut, but that's the plan. We drop crosscut, put these boys in, and then I either drop Tinder or Itza. I'm probably going to drop Itza, which is weird. That only means I have only one 8 kick on the team, but with Mallet, I got a bunch of 7 kick on the team. So that's why I'm thinking maybe I don't need Itza if I've got Mallet in there and he's handing out 7-inch. He's handing out 4-7 kick to like half the team. That seems kind of good. It seems good if you can play for it, right? Regan was the guy that kind of gave me this idea when at the last tournament. He was saying, yeah, you could play, you could play Lumberjacks as a sort of beat down team, but I bet if somebody who actually was a skilled ball player ran the roster a little bit different, I wonder if they'd be any good. I think they're viable. I'll tell you this, like my completely inexperienced opinion on running ball Lumberjacks. I think they're going to be viable, but they're definitely not going to have quite the amazing ball tech that like dedicated ball teams are going to have, right? You don't have any source of I'm open. You only have one close control. You don't have the best access. You don't have like outside of Flint. You don't have like tackle dodge, that kind of stuff. But Mallet is just so good. I'll tell you this: Football Legend is my favorite ability in the game, and he's one of the only guys that has it. But in the absence of Football Legend, one of my favorite abilities in the game is singled out, and Mallet has both. Right? I love singled out. Colossus has singled out, and I use that a lot on engineers. Mallet's got it. Harry the Hat's got it. Singled out is an incredible ability. It just really, I Spy is another one, right? I Spy is basically singled out, right? And obviously Windfinder has that. So that's super good. Which is why, I think Mallet gets slept on because like those abilities alone right there is a great reason to take Mallet. Now I know Mallet doesn't end up on a Corbelli squad. He's not that great with honor. I think he's kind of nice with hammer. Because singled out on a hammer squad, pretty amazing. I just think I think he's strong. I know the internet will feel free to disagree with me, which is okay. That's okay. All right. So yeah, this should look a lot less blotchy when all is said and done than the way I did it on the rest of the team. I'm just happy to be playing Guild Ball again. I always forget how much I miss this game when I'm not playing it. And you know, with the move to squad marks for regular gaming, now it's like basically the floodgates are open, right? I can play Guild Ball whenever I feel like it. It's not like there's no guilt in like playing Guild Ball at CQ and being like, oh well, it's a shame you can't sell any of this stuff, Don and Kelly, but I still love this game. Like they tolerate that I can play it, but you know, there's a little bit of guilt there. All right, onto this dude here. Oh, hold on. Oh, interesting. Okay, hold on. Looks like I gotta. Like I never quite finished the pants. Alright, just gotta block all that in. And this side here. And let's get the rest of that pouch. It's just kind of a bad spot to put a pouch. Alright. Yeah, just kind of a bad spot to put a pouch. Okay. So now I can do this. It is one of my favorite things about the Masons is that one of their primary colors is like a navy color. Absolutely love navy. I wear a lot of navy outfits, like navy color. It's just like for clothing, it's like my go-to color. I like to wear a lot of navy, black, that kind of stuff. But navy specifically. I've had some like crazy navy colored coats back in the day. Okay. But yeah, I seriously doubt we're going to finish these models tonight. But we've come a pretty good way as far as getting the bulk of the models color blocked. We did the skin and the eyes, which is generally the challenge. Oh, I keep knocking my halo light. Sorry, guys. Right? Especially painting, gosh, painting eyes on camera just sucks. It's just not fun. Okay, it looks like, I think that's all just a shirt. Like, with the way there are all these folds and stuff on the model, it can be hard to tell what folds represent a different piece of clothing, like a different layer of clothing. But I think he's wearing like a shirt, and then he's got like a little white-ish shirt underneath that shirt, and then he's got those like brown pants. Oh, thanks, Nelson. It's just confusing with all the layers and all the belts and stuff. Ooh, and you can see I made a mistake already. Right there. So I'm going to have to clean that. Or just re-highlight it. I'd bug this model if they swap that out axe with the... Oh, you'd buy... Oh, I see. That's hilarious. You stick a lightsaber on it, and then he becomes like a... I don't know. Is he like a Obi-Wan doppelganger? Maybe. Oh, he would be like a dual-wielding Obi-Wan. Hello there. He would just be... Hello there, Guild Ball player. What if they had the fanboy guild and it was just cosplayers? And there was a guy cosplaying a Jedi and he had lightsabers. Hello there. Man, I definitely need another number 2 brush. This number 2 brush is... the tip is dead. Can get no good accuracy with this tip now. It is fried, sir. Look at that. That's fried. Look at this old wise Jedi dudes. It's actually kind of funny, right? Because Flint literally does no damage. And he's got he's got actually 3 hatchets on him. Normally, in Guild Ball, I do not like strikers that can't put out a little damage here and there and like finish off a model. I guess that I was spoiled by Vitriol back in the day. Right, Vitriol is she's a alchemist striker that actually has a respectable damage track, right? So you could, and I used to do this quite a bit, you could like let people fall asleep on her and they think they're safe until like later in the turn, where instead of doing a goal run with her, I just go in and finish somebody off. Right? Flint does not, he does not have quite that same capability. Same with Spade, and that's why like I don't really run very much spade in minors or NGs. But all of that said, Flint is just such a good piece. Like, he's just such a good pure striker on a team that is loaded with momentous 2-on-2 on basically everybody, that, you know, it is one of those exceptions where you just do not need somebody that you don't need you don't need your striker to really have much, if at all, damage. NGs, I like having damage widespread because you know, NGs will occasionally they'll scrum. Okay, that's pretty good. Pretty good for just the opening sort of salvo here for paint. Oh, you know what we can do while we're here? We can I want to get some color on these logs. It might be time to go back to old school speed paint. It's not bad. Maybe I can go with this satchel brown. Not bad. Let's try it. Right? Because you can highlight up. Oops, that's the wrong paint. We don't want that. That would have been bad if I allowed that to happen. Alright. We're gonna paint this down. Right. Okay. Yeah, I've been homesick for a couple of days from work. I had a little bit of a flu going, and so I got to get back to work tomorrow, which is gonna suck. But I'm feeling reasonably better, right? So I'd better report back for duty, you know. So that means I'm not gonna stay up that much later. But it's definitely good to have a start on these models. Okay. In fact, Mallet's hair should be that brown. I could block in his hair right now. Like that. Could do it. It is a good color. That wood color is a good color for his hair. Yeah, it's been kind of rough. Okay, yeah, since we got the color out, and we're about to call it, let's just get some brown down. And if it's too dark, we just highlight it up, which I plan on doing anyway. So. Okay. Yeah, me and Me and Darius stayed home today because he actually had a fever going. That's not good. I don't like it when my little guy is not feeling well. But we got a bunch of soup in him. He's probably gonna stay home tomorrow, and I gotta get back to it. Okay. Do I have enough time to get some color onto Flint's hair? Maybe. A couple of spots here that just need. Oops. Some blue. Okay. So that's just the undercoat blue. It's gonna go obviously a lot more like a navy color. Let's see. Do I have the color I need for his hair? Yes, I do. So for blonde, I like this pallid bone. It's a more natural blonde than like a yellow. It just looks good on the models, and then you just highlight it up, and it looks very blonde. Let's get it on. Let's get it on this dude. Right, right. You can see. Whoa, it's gunk. And this version of Flint has himself a little bit of a beard. He's more rugged than standard Flint is. And why wouldn't he be? This is Lumberjack Flint. Of course he would be a little more rugged. Yeah, look at that. Cool. Okay. All right. So yeah, it's just after 8. I think we're gonna call it before I do armor and that kind of stuff. If I have time tomorrow, I'll continue with these two. Maybe we'll kick the camera back on. But yeah, that's where we're at for tonight. Pretty fun models. Like I said, Lumberjacks have some great looking sculpts. They have some great looking sculpts. And you can see there's like spots there where the speed paint didn't quite come in, but it's okay. I'm gonna go ahead and highlight that up when I get a chance. But yeah, you can just see like this is just like the basic color blocking here. And that's how they're coming together. I think they're gonna be cool when they're done. But again, everybody, appreciate you guys for checking in. Sorry I haven't been streaming in a while, but I don't know. If I have time, we'll do it a little bit more often. Okay, so with that, we're going to call our stream to a close. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll go ahead and catch you on the next one.